lastly, for anybody considering this stuff for other projects, since there wasn't a ton of clarity, at least on my end, there are three sections, right? There is an API connection point from the contract, you know, to if we avoid this other conversation, right? The first step is a API connection to the contract that lets you know where the wearables are going. Then there is a connection point for the API to connect to Decentraland so it can recognize that that asset is in said wallet. And then basically you can choose to use it on Decentraland. It doesn't work like exactly like a regular wearable. It doesn't get airdrop, etc. There is one other point which I still need to wrap my head around because I've thought about that, and that is there is a bulk uploader that also needs some work done to upload the entire file. Now, we're not making 10,000 different ones, so I don't even know if that's the case, and we'll go back there. So anybody who's thinking about like bringing a different project in or whatever, there is a fair amount of development and that's okay, but knowing that going into it does help too. And that was something I missed, and I always thought there was just going to be an intermarriage. I actually originally thought we were going to do an API that talks to Decentraland, and then there was going to be an airdrop. And shame on me for thinking that, but you know what, a lot of people felt that way. I talked to 30 people who had 30 ideas how this all worked. So if anybody else has questions or solutions, we would love to have them. And I'm not going to leave this on the table. If it I'm not. I'm going to keep walking down the road, even if it takes longer, because it deserves to happen. We are trying to welcome people into Decentraland who are already a part of our mainframe, are part of our truth. So we got to make sure that they can come in. And if even if it doesn't fully solve with them, it'll solve with someone else. There are a lot of 3D projects coming out right now. This might be the year of 3D projects between OD Labs, Clanosaurs. I know 5 projects that are coming in with their own like secondary groups of people making assets. This is an incredible opportunity for the road that's happening this year in Web3 and NFTs. Anyway, I digress. I really appreciate you all. Mew, I'm on my way.
I know now you're late. Go get them. Seed. Go ahead. You've got the floor.
Okay, so I just had this other idea. What if like a shirt, but in Roblox, and just kind of like a uh I don't know, I can't remember the name of this, but it's like a marketing thing where you don't really talk about it, but if like a lot of people start seeing the logo, then maybe they'll start wondering like what is this? And then, curiosity tends to lead people to places, uh it was just an idea. I don't know. Just an idea.
Yeah, I mean, really, like, show of hands, how many of you guys have physical, real world swag with the Decentraland stuff on it, or your brand? I know I got my Dr. Drip hoodie. I got my my Decentraland hoodie. The like, I don't know what's on it. It's some food. It does not come in the off in the wash, and so like I can't show pictures of it because it's like my everyday hoodie. But like, that's so. But if I did, I could wear it around. So like, yes, seed. We should have that in the real world too. Oh my gosh, something happened yesterday. I was visiting with this family. They had a 6-year-old girl. She was wearing this cute little blue jumper. It had the freaking logo almost of Decentraland on it. I'm like, what is that? And it's almost exactly Decentraland. There's only one son. And they're like, yeah, we got it at Target. It's Cat and Jack. I'm like, what in the heck? So like I gotta go to Target and buy this kid stuff. But I digress. Um So yeah, seed, we should have that. Like in the real world, we can wear it around, people can ask us stuff. But in other platforms, I think that there's definitely value in that. I think that, there are builders here that are exploring the other platforms, going to build in these other places that, frankly, might be easier to build in, might be easier to continue to, push the boundaries in. So I think one way or another, we're going to have that kind of like uh, CrossFit. But I think, yeah, I think you're right on that. I think also just having more ways to be, um, to show them what is happening here. I think again, why, you know, showing what we're doing on social media, I think it's important. I think that, like Instagram, I know there's just a few of us that post there, but when I see other people's content, it's like, okay, like there's still a presence there. So I think having that like many different ways to kind of show what we're doing. So I guess like Seed, where would you like, would you, if you did that, would you do that in Roblox? Like, are there other platforms that you think that would benefit from that kind of like exposure? And Seed might it might be busy, or it might be something wrong with the connection. I'll just say I love the digital gear, like my Dr. Drip hoodie, because Dr. Drip. Okay, when I was substituting at at my elementary school this fall, I got more compliments on my Dr. Drip hoodie from the kids. Like the kids loved that, but then also the grown-ups. Like everybody was like, because I'd wear it kind of maybe on angsty days where I'd gotten literally like beaten up and bit and kicked the day before, and I'm like, why am I doing this? And I'd wear that like drip hoodie, kind of, yeah, just kind of like, okay, I'm gonna be comfortable today when I get my butt kicked. But that Dr. Drip hoodie was like the most popular thing that I wore. I got more compliments on that. So, not trying to plug the Dr. Drip's digital NFT that gets you the IRL NFT that you can wear, but go buy it. I also like got to wear it when I met AJ in person, and I'm like, I didn't even tell AJ. Like, I was like, no, I'm not going to tell you where I am or who I am. I'm not going to tell you what I look like. You'll know. So, yeah, it was pretty cool seeing like AJ run down because he saw the hoodie. Okay, so we were talking the linked wearables, super important. Gonna keep fighting that good fight. Before that, we were, I think, on a pretty big, heavy topic, and that was just development, like of the platform and like game mechanics, how to push the envelope with those, how like the Explorer is going to impact, everything like that coming out this year. And like I know our last room, I really like the idea of just like I would be a proponent to having like a think tank of sorts. And obviously in this space, you don't want to even think an idea around other people because they'll take it unless you're ready to share it. So I get that like a think tank with people that are making this their livelihood is not a really good way to go about things unless you're ready to share those ideas. But I believe that like there are some ideas worth sharing because they can make they can make development happen faster, sooner. But if anything like that, I feel like in some way these spaces are kind of like that. But I feel like we could benefit from having more even than that. I would love to find like professional, like I don't know, interview like big game developers, try to bring them in, like, or pay like I don't know, hire a consultant to come in and like look at each of the games, like a gaming consultant or something like that. I don't know. Would there be value in that? Like, what do you guys think?
I think so. I mean, I think there's a lot of people that have experience building games, a lot of experience playing games, game theory, research, and design. Um, it can get very complicated, but there are some very basic games in other platforms that just don't exist in Decentraland. And I have started working on one of them, but to what to what end? Because does it even matter to play that type of game in Decentraland, or is it just fun for me to create because there's so few people here? So Are you building this for fun, for now, for the future? But I like the panel, but I also think there's a lot of people, that play games, that build games, that understand game theory, and you can kind of grip and rip in terms of just take a game and make it into Decentraland. But again, to like what end?
Exactly. And user retention, like it's one thing to come and play a game and give all the accolades like, wow, it's really good. I loved it. But then they maybe slowly stop coming in. Like it's gotta their user retention has to be part of that equation. Scott, good morning. Welcome.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Um, so, to your specific question, I think um, what you're describing isn't necessarily just a developer. I think from the larger marketing standpoint or from the market vantage, what we're talking about is a product manager, right? If you look at Decentraland as a product that needs to be presented to people, a product manager is going to talk to the consumers, the people that participate in the ecosystem, that consume the product, that consume the service, and determine what it is that their wants, what their needs are, what their desires are, what the pain points are. I heard on Knower, I think that's when I first signed on, was a Knower was talking about somebody doing a doing like a quote or a bid or whatever for the API. Absolutely. Um, and I think having somebody who, and perhaps I don't know anything past like the top level stuff that we hear about publicly about foundation, but it's like kind of along the lines of what Lastrom is talking about and advocating. Let's have accountability. Let's have a truly um, a truly decentralized autonomous organization. So it's like we could continue to complain about certain things, or we could just begin to do it. I know that's really easy to say, and it's harder to do. It's like there is no there's no shortage of ideas, right? It's the execution of those ideas that's the hardest thing. But it's like as Lastrom has um, referred to as bullet points, there needs to be vision, there needs to be accountability, there needs to be okay, this is the direction we're going. So I think at least in my mind, the specific position that that person would embody is the product manager, where yeah, they talk to the daily active users, and they're like, what is it that you need? What are the pain points? And then okay, here are the solutions, and then begin to marshal resources towards that end. I mean, a lot of that is what I think we try to do in our own way, and in a very, I would say, sporadic or spasmodic um, method through the DAO of presenting a proposal, and hashing it out in the public square. But I guess those are my initial thoughts. Is the position as a product manager, somebody with vision, somebody with experience um, who can take a brand, who can take something as novel as Decentraland, because people still have a hard time describing what exactly it is. And I think we haven't really figured that out yet. So anyway, those are my thoughts.
Just as an aside, Scott, there were 3 different chief product officers at the foundation in the past 2 years. So if they can't even figure out themselves, it's kind of hard for us to say what it is. But I totally agree with that point.
All right. Well, thank you for that a bit of background information. But it's like, I don't know. I tend to go on these hyper focused, quixotic quests where all like, oh, we need to learn about developing the economy of this little ecosystem. So I'll study that. Or recently it was product management. So I don't know if anybody's interested. There's a podcast that I listen to, and it's all about product management. It's very inside baseball, but yeah, it's got a lot of things that transfer. They're talking about ROI and software development, and very not Decentraland type of stuff, but still how they talk about relating to the consumer, which is all of us, and it's something that a product manager, I think, would identify early on, is that the consumers are also the builders, the architects, the people that are creating the platform. And I think that creates a very novel and valuable opportunity, right? Where you've got people that believe in a product so much, they're not only consuming it and investing in it, but they also work there. So
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I like the word manage. Like again, decentralized does not have to be so on the other side of the coin of management or manage or oversee. You know, just because it's a DAO doesn't mean there can't be a group of people that help collect and identify these API servers. I mean, the DAO doesn't even run its own Catalyst server. Isn't that kind of crazy? Um, there's no DAO funded Catalyst server to my knowledge. So in the true essence of decentralization, the decentralized autonomous organization doesn't even run a decentralized Catalyst server. Do you see how that word is sort of like poo poo in my mind, right? It doesn't make sense. So let's put some structure around our DAO, and let's get some technical people in there that can help guide decisions for the DAO to maybe stand up these servers that help linked wearable creators, that maybe help people with analytics or external cert like VLMs and things like that. That you can go to that source of information. I like that. I personally would get behind that. I have the technical squad. I think support could maybe move to the from the foundation to the DAO. Let's put people in place that actually do stuff instead of pontificate with proposals. I think that's just a waste of time and money.
yeah, and this is, of course, where the rubber hits the road, right? It's like, okay, what what sort of actual physical structure does that take? Who decides who gets to be that technical person? And I think about the votes that we've had in the past, and how fraught those very public votes have become. But no, I think uh, I'd like I like the discussion going in this direction. Um, just in my casual hours that I've had, since I've been off my full-time job these last few days, one of the things I did was I went and I read the Wikipedia entry for Decentraland. And if there were a word cloud for that entry, buggy, laggy, would be one of the biggest words in that word cloud. Um, and I had a thought about it. It's like, okay, um, most people are going to see that and be like, okay, who the fuck cares? But the thing that I really am encouraged and emboldened by is that we're still here, right? Um, it's there's something to say about longevity, right? There's something to say about the dedication of the people that are here, in this space, that are still here, right? We've been doing this for um, well, I think this spring it'll be 2 years just for this space. And for the people at Last Slice, you guys have been here since, was it 2019? So it's already been 4 years. So um, I don't really seem to mind too much about the public perception of Decentraland because it's like there's no better revenge than success, right? And I think if we continue to exist, persist, and improve, we can accomplish a lot. And I think it's frustrating at times to witness, oh, okay, well now the map doesn't work today, or my emotes still don't stay loaded, or whatever uh, cause of the day that's annoying us. But it's like, um, I don't know. It's like I still think it's an amazing place, and I think that yeah. I mean, I'm still here. I'm interested in investigating some sort of I guess structural shift, if you want to call it that, because I mean that's part of the initial the original plan, right? That 10-year plan, that horizon of eventually the foundation will not be there and it will be up to us. So it's probably a good idea that we start going through and making those hard decisions of rubber hit the road right now.
Well, and Scott, that's a great thing to, I mean, just a great thing to imagine, like in what, 7 years from now, when the foundation turn in theory turns over the keys to the community, who do they turn them over to? Like in like, just visualize that, who should have it, like which ones of us? Like, I mean, that's daunting, that's absolutely daunting. And one thing that I think about, like, after Lastrom, after listening to that call, really, Lastrom, Nikki Fuego, and anybody that voiced, that spoke up, like, I think that we are maybe going through the growing pains, that right now we don't maybe deserve the keys to the kingdom, but we are turning into the people who hopefully will deserve those. And it's through these battles of saying, like, no, no, like, no, that's not enough. We need to know what the plan is. We need to know how things are being structured. We need to know how many people have been laid off, how they were laid off. Like, we need to know this stuff. So I feel like part of this whole process, as painful as it is, it's turning us into the people that deserve the keys to this kingdom. And hopefully we will be those people. But 7 years is a long time to go. Maybe it's not us. Maybe it's the people that come after us that are like, oh, I remember Kenneth, I remember Scott, I remember Lastrom. Like, oh, that was that builder, right? Like, I mean, life is crazy, life is funny. But so maybe it's not us. Maybe it'll be the people who, you know, come after us and pick up the baton and keep going. I don't know. But I think that, like, the personal freaking growth that I've seen from the people in this room is, I mean, that's what I love about this place. I love hearing the stories in the DMs that aren't posted on Twitter, the battles that we each secretly are fighting, and then I see people, get do that thing that they love. And, like, that, to me, like, watching the development of the people building this platform, that's the real magic sauce, is the people. And watching those people, like, I always say, like, I watched Kentucky Derby turn into Dog Man, like, which one, how many of us have had, transformations like that? And as we turn into those people, hopefully we stick around and we build. And if we don't, that's okay too. If you find out that Roblox is easier to build on and you go there because you gotta feed your freaking family, that's okay too. um yeah, I mean, I think there's an ebb and flow. People will come, people will go, and hopefully, yeah, hopefully enough of us will still be here down the line, and we'll make the changes that we keep talking about. So thank you, Scott. Oh, Fancy wants to give Mariana the keys to the city. I'm okay with that. Mariana, how about that? We'll give you the keys. We're gonna get alcohol-filled chocolates for everybody.
That's all that I need, are those chocolates and some DJ lessons.
I love it. I love it. Well, as the new year looms upon us, it is 11 well, it's 11:25 my time. We've got a New Year's Eve bash starting in an hour and a half at, let's see, Casa Rustan. I was gonna say I heard that Casa Rustan put some new fluorescent lights in. But there might be some new lights. I heard Rustan maybe say something about. So I don't know if Rustan wants to come up and talk about this fancy shooting lights, but if he does, I'd love to hear it. Um, yeah, let's see. What about like I don't know, just what's New Year's new new year, new me. Isn't that what they say? What are you guys excited about like in the new year? I mean, there's a like to me, I hate putting a lot of it's like I really don't like putting a lot of emphasis on New Year's Eve, whatever. I don't make a New Year's resolution. I feel like every day of the year I have to choose if I'm gonna, be what I'm doing that day. Like, but I would love to hear if you guys are excited for anything coming in the new year. And one exists. You came up to speak. How about I put you on the spot? And
That's fine. Um, so just two things. I've been saying that since I've joined the DAO. I've been on the board of a DAO. There needs to be a professional group, each with expertise in different areas in the DAO that can help guide this the way it needs to go. I've been on the board of one. I've been in talks of creating one, and that's always a big topic. Is which professions do we need? We need somebody with legal. We need somebody with technical. Um, I forget all of them that were brought up, but and I've been saying that too about how if you read the TOS, the foundation could leave tomorrow if they so chose. Then what happens? But it never seems to be a topic of conversation. Um, but also, uh, I do want to shout out Rustan as well because it's not only a New Year's bash. He has put together on his parcel, as always, a very cool build, um, and is welcoming in not only the beasts but my PFP, the Nilings, as well today. So please come by. And the Nilings, just so everybody remembers, is currently ran by Category 5, who is one of the performers at today's uh, event.
that is awesome. I don't know how I didn't make that connection. I just thought he was a holder, but he's higher up on the the hierarchy.
Yeah, he's not the founder, of course, but he leads the way. He really does.
Okay, well that is awesome. Just as if I need a new NFT project to get into.
Well, I will
But I'll
tell you if you it's under Nileverse. The Nihilings are on ETH, but they moved over to Polygon. And the Nileverse, if you buy one, you get one free. They send the free ones out every Friday. And they're like 0.01 or zero point 0.1, I forget, but it's not too terrible, especially when you get a second one for free.
very cool, very cool.
And
Well,
yes,
thank you.
yes, I had ulterior motives when I also gave one to Rustan because I know he's so cool and great and would do some wonderful things with it, and I appreciate that very much. And so do the Nilings.
That's awesome. So if I make an NFT project, I just need to like gift one to Rustan. No, I'm just kidding. I would anyway because Rustan is awesome. Very, very cool. Looking forward to that. Awesome. Let's see. So today is the 30th. That's a pretty big afternoon. So yeah, hydrate, eat your Wheaties, eat your food so you can stay online all day again. I feel like we're getting better at that, these longer events. I don't know if it's good for us for our mental health, mental well-being, however, to be on like for many, many, many hours. A lot of times after this space, I have to like detox. I have to like go out, go get in nature, get away. Okay, well, let's see. A reminder, anybody that wants to come up and speak, you are welcome to come up and speak. I feel like we're kind of getting to a good point to wrap up the space today. So, yeah, I'll give everybody a little time if they want to come up. If they have a topic, please just feel free to bring it up. Otherwise, I'm going to be, let's see, quizzing you for your last thoughts. And actually, you know what? Maybe instead of asking you what you're excited about, maybe I would love to know like one thing maybe that surprised you this year about Decentraland. Like an unexpected development, an unexpected thing, I guess. Because gratitude is good. You know, you're like the brain actually you you release certain hormones, chemicals when you show gratitude when you're thinking about something. And so it's actually like super good. So we're going into wellness month in January. Um yes, wellness events coming up soon. So I don't know who wants to start, Mariana.
I can. Oh, go ahead, Mariana, if you're ready. But
No,
I was gonna say,
I'll just
I'm
no, I'll be really short and simple. I mean, when Lastrom started doing like the portable experiences, I'm like, oh wow, this is actually possible now, with like the relaxy taxi. So I think that was like I would say that was probably the most eye blowing thing that I saw this year, actually.
Yeah, remember the race, the relaxy taxi race that AJ put on?
Oh yeah.
That was so fun. We need to do that again.
I was gonna
Let's
say
make it
just.
annual.
I mean, we could make it monthly or bi-monthly or whatever. I'm all for those spontaneous uh, collaborations. What I was gonna say was, um, I'm really grateful for all of the collaborations that have happened in the last year. I would say that this, if I were to have one word for the year, it would be collaboration. I remember when I first came into Decentraland, and it was, a little more than 2 years ago. Uh, during the bull run, during the meta madness, and it was just hard to one meet anybody, in that crazy time. But like, I remember trying to get information or answers about just how or why anything was being run the way it was run. I remember going to the Samsung event and just being blown away by it, but also being super frustrated because I just didn't know what the fuck parkour was, um, especially on New Year's Eve. But I think that it's hard to know what it's like to be a new person in the space right now because maybe they have some of the same criticisms and complaints. Um, but I look at the events that have happened in this last year and how many different uh, I would say groups of people, or some are like official studios or organizations, had just come together and worked with each other. There was hardly anything to do in Decentraland, and now we've got um, not an embarrassment of riches, but we definitely have way more things to choose from. And I think that all of those have improved, mainly because of collaborations. I think of all of the collaborations that Last Slice has done with Roomway. I think of independent artists like CK Bubbles working with with you, Unknower, and the virtual land manager during Metaverse Fashion Week. Um, yeah, I think about um, just all of the collaborations, and I'm really grateful for all of us working together.
Thank you, Scott. Yeah, that is awesome. I think that like that is how the cool some of the coolest stuff happens when you bring in a team. I know that the couple of things I've worked on where, you're like I've got my little part that I'm contributing, other people have their strengths. Like it's awesome to have an end product, but it's really cool just to see like just to feel I'm not going to say the synergy of a team. I won't say that, but like the like group yeah, group project shit. Like I love it. I love it. Um yeah, thank you, Scott. That is awesome. Those are some great projects to remember too, like CK. We've had some cool stuff happen this year. Let's see. Do I raise hands? I mean, I can go into teacher mode and draw the popsicle sticks here. I can totally do that.
I'll, I'll say while she's up here, and actually you too, since I brought it up before. Uh, how soon are we looking at this DJ Mariana and DJ Canessa? And I I think it was turned into a versus as well, possibly.
Let's plan for December 30th of 2024. That'll give you
Can
plenty
I
of
hold you
time.
to that?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, consider it done. This is a recorded space.
I gotta check if my VTech Kitty boombox takes double A or triple A or D batteries because I gotta like that is my Achilles heel is that I might run out of double A batteries.
You can get a good deal on them if you buy them through Amazon, and good batteries too. And
Okay, thank you. Mentally noted.
there was, I wish I could remember. I don't know why I'm bothering to say this, but there was something that came up, a conversation I was having. I think it was with the MIDI punks, and your old time music player thing
Oh, my
came up
gramophone.
again. Yes, that would be perfect for this. I wish I could remember what it was. I'll have to get in there and see if anybody remembers. And because I was going to get with you about that, but I forget what it was. So
Yeah,
unfortunately,
that's my metaverse dream. When I'm playing 127-year-old music high in the sky of the metaverse, then I'll be complete someday.
and I will say the camera. I think since Mariana basically took flying along with the relaxy taxi, the camera is pretty damn cool and unexpected surprise.
You know what? I already forgot that the camera exists. Like, even though I use it all the time, it almost just seems like just there and like natural. And then I forgot it was even like a new thing to be added. So, yes.
We kind of need that reminder of like what shit's been added. And so like, maybe if we're not if a roadmap future is like looking forward is maybe we could also just have like real good clear documentation of like what has been done, even just be like a year ago today the camera was invented or brought in, because you forget about those things. Like I was looking at the spotlight emote because somebody had one really cheap, and I'm like, wow, I remember what a big deal it was. And now it's like, there's so many emotes, the spotlight. Nobody will ever understand why that one is like going for god awful amounts of money in the store. But man, like the first time you could spotlight emote, like wow, what a weird world it was to think about all of us just emote ticking around the room and that was it.
And that makes me think. Shout out to KJ Walker and Low Poly Models for giving us a little year end recap at their family tree event these past few days, because that was cool being able to go through and be reminded of some of the things that um, when I was going through, I was like, oh wow, that was this year, huh? Because yeah, it's easy to forget just how far things have come in just the last year or so.
Yeah, completely. And something that might be, big for one person, it might not be that big of a deal for other people. So just, yeah, having all of that as like a reminder is good. Um, let's see. One exists. Did you have anything else?
As always, be safe, be well, be you. Wallet Guard, Revoke Cache, Malwarebytes are all extensions for your browser. Those can help definitely help keep you safe. Um, Informing each other as well. And if it looks funny or suspicious, be suspicious of it. And Happy New Year.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I
And
want to
Jester?
say Happy New Year to everyone early on. I love you all, and yeah, have a great time. And as One Existence says, use those safeguarding measures, and I will upload a tutorial on Gnosis Safe app for a multi-sig for you guys. Make sure to use that; it's very useful and safe as well.
Thank you for that. And Jester, did you want to speak on maybe one thing that you were excited about that came out this year in Decentraland?
Oh, actually many things. But yeah, maybe because it's my game, but of course my game I was very excited about that because I was working so long for my game, and in the end when you see the results, it just feels different, and then you're finally owning something. And I know a lot of people had doubt in me, and when it's out there finished, it just feels, you feel proud of yourself. So I focused this entire year on my game, and it was just amazing. I don't know.
Congratulations, Ingester, and I'll say it one more time. Anytime I had played, it worked perfectly fine for me.
Thanks, love you.
All right, thank you. Lastrom, any final words, something you were excited about this year?
Sorry, my screen turned off. I there's one moment in the year that really stuck out for me, and it was watching Vroomway's um, recap of where they were at in their project. And I hadn't really paid attention too much, and I think this was over the summer of Vroomway, and it actually blew my mind. I had to reach out to Nikki. I'm not sure I reached out to them before directly, and I had to tell them that I thought it was the best game in Decentraland. And so I think focusing on those things and uh, the user retention and highlighting those things once people can figure out how to get into Decentraland, there are some really amazing things being built, and Vroomway is probably the highlight for me.
That is awesome. Well, thank you so much. Let's see. Oh, see, drop down. So I think that is it for our speakers. I think I think my exciting thing is just like the emotes 2.0, like that there's so much that we can do with those now. I love KJ's flowers like growing. Um yeah, those are so cool. But more than that, I think like the thing I'm excited about is just getting to know everybody that that I've talked to this year, just like further, just deep, like yeah, that means more than anything to me. So you guys are the secret sauce.
And just to add one more thing that I'm excited about, in World Builder. Thank you, Lostrom and Last Slice.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that will be 2024, so maybe we can recap and all have that as a shared moment. but we just got exporting your scenes done. So very, very excited about that, building your scene and being able to download the code like you did from the builder. So that is really awesome. But yes, thank you. I appreciate it.
That is so cool. When is the next tour that we can like come in and kind of check it out and try it out with you guys? I know you did an event I couldn't make it to a couple weeks ago. Are you guys going to do another one?
I think we are. I don't see Shelly or Dino on this call. I think Mies was on this call. Ruston is here. I want to say January 15th keeps sticking out to me, but it's either the first or second Friday in January. We're going to do another event, and hopefully we can have all of this ready for you guys to test out.
Awesome, awesome. We need like a calendar of like just I don't know things to look out for. Like I know Billy T Coin always did the weekly calendar, but even like a longer scale, like a bigger picture calendar. But I don't know who wants to take that on. Scott, you've got your hand up.
Yeah, I just wanted to remind everybody that Billy and I are going to be doing the last ABC tour of the year tonight, 6 p.m. Eastern. So if you're interested in joining us, we'll start at CK's place, the ABC Treehouse, Clubhouse, whatever you want to call it, 6 p.m. Eastern. Hope to see you there. Thank you.
That's tonight. It's a special edition.
Yeah, it's tonight. It's probably going to move to Saturday. We haven't decided on what the new time and date is, but Billy needs to get a full-time paying gig with benefits and whatnot. So he's not going to be able to do it during our normal time, which was 10 a.m. Melbourne time. So we got to find some new location on the calendar. So today, 6 p.m. And look for a new time in the new year.
Okay, thank you, Scott. Yep. So important to take care of our bases first. So you guys have been such a staple over the last almost 2 years, and so it's hard to see it move, but totally get why gotta have a gotta take care of ourselves. So let us know when that change is finalized, or however we can do to help. Like even with this space, I know there's some people that can't be here on Saturdays, or our friends from the other side of the world, this isn't a great time for them. So I don't know, like I think we can all be flexible with what times, and maybe even have like different, like multiple events to make sure that everybody can get to it, so that we're not just always serving United States time zones. I think that would be good as we move forward too. So
Well,
thank you,
my
Scott.
offer still stands for a DEF,
Oh.
ADC, DEF, a second round.
Gotcha. Well, you're definitely in the queue, as it were, if we ever activate that plan. So thank you, Existence.
You bet. Maybe Dr. Drip would be the D. I don't know. Just throwing it out there.
Dr. Existence.
Fancy. Dr. Existence and Fancy.
I could go for that.
Do it. Make it happen. Okay, friends, I think that wraps it up. Thank you for coming out today. Remember, the Make a New Year's Eve bash starts in about an hour, and that's also going to run all day. So maybe pop in between, go visit Scott. What's it? Oh, I couldn't tell if Scott was talking, if you got your mic on or off.
I thought I had it off, but I may have it on. My apologies.
It's okay. When that happens, I feel like we're on a walk with you. I mean, it's good. You're getting exercise. It's almost like we're getting exercise with you, but not.
it's really fucking cold here. So if you're on a walk with me, dress warmly. But yeah, thank you anyway. Happy New Year, everybody. Congratulations to Ingester and the whole dual arena team. Congratulations to Noah. I don't know. Did you hear it?
No, I didn't hear you, but I could see people throwing up hearts. So I don't know if if I just maybe I can't hear you, but other people can.
I
I could
could
not.
not.
Okay. Sometimes that happens, but it's like it's only like one person that can't hear, so I always like give them time. But we can fill in the blanks with what Scott was saying. I'm sure it was wonderful and beautiful and heartfelt. Oh, and he's jumping down. So, thank you, Scott. Everybody, have a great New Year's. Be safe. We will see you over at Casa Rustan in an hour. And otherwise, take care of yourself. And yeah, love to all. Have a good week.
Bye bye. Love y'all.
Love to all. Have a good week.
Bye bye. Love y'all.